Hi, if you want to watch exclusive content with hot girls that you won't watch on YouTube, namely where Naruto roasts Kushina and Mikoto and many other hot girls without restrictions, then visit my Boosty channel at the link in the description.
Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki Naruto almost sealed Kagaya Otsutsuki, but suddenly Naruto made seals unknown to anyone, of course except Kagaya. She immediately understood that Naruto wanted to take her power. Kagaya did not want to give up her power and tried to fly up, but Sakura was above and stopped her plans with her blows. Naruto and Sasuke touched Kagaya's hands and shouted, "Great, planetary sealing!" But nothing happened. A second later, Naruto and Kagaya began to glow with white light. All of Kagaya's chakra and power began to pass to Naruto. There was hellish pain. Kagaya and Naruto began to scream from unbearable pain. Half an hour later, everything was over. Naruto was dressed in a white haori, and his skin and hair turned white, and small horns also grew on his head. In his hand was the staff of the 6 paths, while Kagaya's horns disappeared, and her Rinna Sharingan closed. Kagaya fell to the ground dead. "Naruto, what was that?" Sasuke shouted. "I did it so that no one else would want to free her. Now Kagaya Otsutsuki is dead, and I have her power. The world is safe," Naruto said calmly. Sasuke was not satisfied with this answer, but he remained silent. A second later, they appeared in their world. Everyone was surprised to see Naruto in his new appearance. Naruto approached his father. "Dad, if you want, I can revive Mom and you, and we will live as a family. We will be able to do what we couldn't do before," Naruto said, and tears rolled from his eyes. "No need, Naruto. Your mother and I are watching you and are proud of who you have become. Don't rush to us. Goodbye," Minato said in response and began to disappear. "Tell Mom that I eat right, that I have a lot of friends, that I found myself a beautiful girlfriend. Tell me that everything is fine with me," Naruto said with tears in his eyes. "I'll definitely pass it on," Minato said with a smile and disappeared. Naruto turned to the sage of the 6 paths and approached. "As I see, you have become a new sage," said Hagoromo. "Yes. I will watch over this world, Hagoromo-sama," Naruto said and bowed in respect. "I count on you, Naruto Otsutsuki," the sage replied and disappeared in a radiance. "Naruto!" Sasuke shouted and took out his sword and ran at Naruto. Sasuke wanted to kill him and become the only Kage, but Naruto ruined everything again. Naruto turned to Sasuke and blocked his sword with his staff. Sasuke's sword broke on Naruto's staff. Naruto created a small spear and pierced Sasuke's heart. "I'm already tired of you, Sasuke. You wanted to kill me again, but in the end, you yourself will die," Naruto said in a cold tone. Everyone who saw and heard this was shocked. "Naruto, what did you do?" Sakura shouted, recovering from her shock. "He wanted to kill me himself. I'm just tired of giving him a second chance," Naruto answered and took out Sasuke's eyes. Naruto transplanted his eyes into himself. "Naruto, you were absorbed by Kagaya's power," Kakashi said, trying to reason with Naruto. "Perhaps, Kakashi-sensei. My existence in this world is a mistake. I will leave it, but before that." Naruto made a seal and people began to wake up from the eternal Tsukiyomi. "Where are you going?" Kakashi asked. "I don't know, fate will decide," Naruto answered and created a portal next to him. "Goodbye, friends," Naruto said, looking at his friends one last time and entering the portal. A portal appeared on the roof of a skyscraper, and a teenager in a white haori and black balls on his back came out of the portal. In his hand was a staff with a crescent moon and a sun on the ends. His eyes were not ordinary, his right eye was red with a beautiful pattern, and the left was purple. Rings emanated from the pupil, and on them were 6 commas, or tamo. "Well, hello, new world," he said. 5 years have passed. Naruto learned that there are demons, angels, and fallen angels in this world. He learned about all the rules of this world. There are no people who use chakra here, but they have advanced in science. Naruto read that the wars in this world were much harsher than in his world. Naruto lived in his own mansion. In his garage there was a red Ferrari LaFerrari. Recently, he goes to the Kuo Academy. Previously, it was only for girls, but now it has become allowed for boys. Naruto went there not to gain knowledge, but because he felt demonic energy there. Now Naruto was standing in front of the mirror and adjusting his school uniform. Well, it seems not bad, Naruto said and threw the bag over his shoulder and took the keys to his car. Going down to the garage, he opened the Ferrari and threw the bag on the second seat, and sat behind the wheel. The garage door opened and Naruto drove out of it and the gate immediately closed. Naruto drove along the highway at high speed. He had on black sunglasses from Gucci. The windows of the car were open and the wind blew in his face. His favorite track "You Motherfucker" by Night Level was playing in the car. It was hot outside and this day was beautiful. 10 minutes later, Naruto drove up to his academy. In front of him stood the headmistress, the vice principal, and behind them were the teachers. The students became curious why the teachers started running around the entire academy. When the teachers, the headmistress, and the vice principal came out onto the street, the students started looking out the windows to see who was so important. A few minutes later, a red Ferrari drove up to the gates of the academy. The boys immediately started drooling when they saw the car, and the girls knew that it was very expensive and wanted to see the owner. A second later, the car door opened and a teenager in expensive glasses came out. The girls started drooling and looking at him like a god. All the girls started shouting about how handsome and rich Naruto was. A minute later, the teachers and Naruto himself entered the academy. The headmistress brought Naruto to his class, 11A. "So, kids, today we will have a new student studying with us," the teacher said and pointed to the door. The door opened and Naruto entered the classroom. All the girls started looking at him with hearts in their eyes, and the boys with hatred. "Hello, my name is Naruto Otsutsuki. I hope we can become friends." Naruto introduced himself and bowed. "Okay, Naruto-san, sit at any desk," the teacher said with a smile on his face. Naruto saw the only free seat next to the red-haired girl. "Hello, I'm Naruto Otsutsuki, what's your name?" Naruto asked curiously. "I'm Rias Gremory, nice to meet you," Rias said and shook the outstretched hand. The day passed boringly. Naruto didn't listen to the teachers, he just pretended. When the lessons were over, Naruto was about to leave, but Rias called him. "Naruto-san. How many times do I have to tell you not to call me that?" "Sorry. Can we talk?" Rias asked. "Of course. There's nothing else to do anyway," Naruto answered and walked with Rias. They arrived at the occult science hall. Rias sat on her chair and Naruto on the sofa. "And what did you want to talk about?" Naruto asked. "Can we wait for my colleagues?" Rias asked in response. "Okay," Naruto replied. A second later, a girl with black hair tied in a ponytail with a yellow ribbon entered the room. Era, what a handsome boy. My name is Akino Himejima, and what is yours?" Akino asked, resting her cheek on her palm. "I, Naruto Otsutsuki, it's nice to meet such a beautiful girl," Naruto said and kissed Akino's hand. Era, can I make you some tea?" Akino asked. "I wouldn't mind," Naruto replied. Akino went to make tea for Naruto and a minute later it was ready. "Here, help yourself," Akino said and smiled her smile. "Thank you," Naruto replied and took the mug. "This is very tasty." "Thank you," Akino replied to her compliment. 10 minutes passed and everyone came. Meeting them was not as pleasant as meeting Akino. Naruto took a sip of tea from his mug and then the doors almost flew off their hinges. 3 people appeared in the passageway, a little girl with white hair and cat hairpins, a fair-haired guy with blue eyes stood next to her, and in the middle stood a chestnut-haired guy with brown eyes, who apparently knocked down the door. "Did you call for me, President?" asked the brown-haired guy, saluting. "Yes, Issei. Come in and close the door," Rias answered and the guy sat down on the sofa opposite Naruto. "Well, I guess I should introduce myself. My name is Naruto Otsutsuki, Rias brought me here for an important conversation," Naruto said. "My name is Hyudo Issei, nice to meet you," Issei said and extended his hand, which Naruto immediately shook. "I'm Kiba Yudo, nice to meet you," Kiba said and shook Naruto's hand. I'm Kaneko, that's it, the girl said and began to eat the cookies. Naruto-san, I would like to ask you something. Ria said. So what? Naruto asked, wanting to know the answer. Do you believe in demons and angels? Rias asked with an anticipatory smile. Yes, Naruto answered. Then I would like to tell you that all the members of the club are demons. Rias said and bat wings appeared from her back. This happened to the others as well. I knew it. Naruto said and everyone in the hall was shocked. But from where? Akino asked, the first to recover from the shock. I only came to this academy because I sensed demonic energy. Naruto replied. If you feel demonic energy, then you belong to one of the factions. Ria said and tensed up. No, I don't belong to any of the factions, but I'm not human either. Naruto said and was about to leave, but Kiba stood in front of him and took out his sword. I can't let a stranger walk around my city. Tell me who you are or you won't leave here. Ria said in a menacing tone. Akino stood to Naruto's right and prepared her lightning. Issei stood to the left and activated his Longinus. I'll leave here anyway, but the question is, will you leave this room? Naruto said in a cold tone. You're in no position to threaten me, Rias replied. Naruto chuckled and closed his eyes. A second later he opened them, but a Sharingan with 3 tomo was burning in them. Everyone immediately looked into his eyes and were scared, but they still stood. What are those eyes? Rias asked as Naruto looked into her eyes over his right shoulder. Either you let me go or your entire so-called family will die right here and you will go after them, but before that I will play with you. Naruto said and smirked at the end. Issei did not tolerate such words to his president and attacked Naruto. Issei, stop! Rias shouted, but it was too late. Issei punched Naruto right in the jaw, but Naruto leaned back and caught his hand. A second later a truth-seeking ball appeared in his hand and turned into a tanto. Naruto cut off Issei's hand, and then pierced his heart. Everyone who saw this was furious. Die! Akino screamed and sent her lightning at him. Naruto moved behind her and pierced her heart. Akino's lifeless body fell to the floor. Kiba and Kaneko attacked Naruto together, but it was no use. Naruto moved behind Rias and put his tanto to her throat. If you want your mistress to live, then one of you must die. Naruto said in a cold tone. We won't kill each other, and you'll pay for Akino and Issei. Kiba shouted and attacked Naruto at high speed. Naruto had to let go of Rias and block the blow. Kaneko hit him from behind, blood gushed from Naruto's mouth and he flew into the wall. Kiba wanted to finish him off, but Naruto disappeared in a white haze. The real Naruto jumped from the ceiling and cut off the head of Kiba and Kaneko. Rias couldn't watch this and tears came out of her eyes, but she pulled herself together and created a magic circle and fired destruction magic at Naruto. The beam missed Naruto and broke through the wall. Naruto appeared from behind and stuck a paralysis seal on Rias's neck. Rias couldn't move. Naruto put Rias on the table and spread her legs. I warned you, my dear Rias. Naruto said and kissed Rias on the lips. Suddenly, everything disappeared. It was as if there was no destruction and everyone was alive. Next time it won't be an illusion. And I will finish what I started, Rias. Naruto said and smiled his fox smile at the end. Naruto disappeared in a yellow lightning, and everyone stood and couldn't believe what just happened. Naruto appeared at the exit of the school and got into his car and drove home. This will be interesting, Naruto said to himself and smiled. A week has passed since the day Naruto called Rias. All the members of the club except Akino did not approach him. Akino became curious about who he was and she constantly asked him about his hobbies and his life. Naruto answered her questions. Now Naruto was walking to the occult club, approaching the door he wanted to knock, but heard a conversation. My dear Rias, it's been so long since I've seen you. Did you miss me? Don't touch me, Razor. I already told you that I won't marry you. Rias, you're only thinking about yourself again. You forgot that after the war, the number of pure-blooded devils dropped significantly. Our parents have already decided everything, and you can't change anything. Lucifer-sama knew that this would happen and decided to arrange a rating game between Riser Phoenix and Rias Gremory. The third voice said. Am I allowed to participate in the official game? Rias asked, judging by her voice. No. It will not be an official game. But there will be many higher demons present to watch the game. The unknown girl said. I agree to the game, Rias replied. Okay, I'll give you a chance. I'll give you 10 days to prepare. Train your retinue. Razor said and disappeared, as did the girl. Naruto decided to come in without knocking. Hello everyone. What's wrong with you? Naruto asked. Yar, it's Naruto-san, Akino said with a smile and walked up to Naruto. Hello, Akino-chan. Naruto greeted Akino. Why did you come? Kiba asked, preparing to attack. Relax, I came to see you. By the way, Kaneko, I brought you a cake. Naruto said and unsealed the chocolate cake. Kaneko's eyes sparkled and she ate the cake in a second. Thank you, Naruto-kun, Kaneko said in her normal voice. You have quite an appetite, said a surprised Naruto. Kaneko likes sweets, and you? Akino said and pressed Naruto's hand to her chest. Only if there isn't much of it. Naruto answered, not paying attention to what Akino did. Rias, you look depressed. Did something happen? Naruto asked. It's none of your business, Rias replied rudely. Sorry, but I was thinking of helping you with the engagement, Naruto said and scratched the back of his head. Where are you from? Rias asked, jumping up. Well, I just overheard the whole conversation. Naruto replied. I see. How did you want to help me? Rias asked, sitting back down in her chair. I can train you and your retinue, Naruto replied. Naruto-kun doesn't want to leave me, Akino said sarcastically. And that too, of course. Naruto said, looking at Akino and smiling a fox-like smile. And when do we start? Kiba asked. Tomorrow morning, I'm waiting for you at my house. Here's the address. Naruto said and handed over the paper with the address. Okay, I have to go. Naruto said and disappeared in a yellow flash. The next morning, Naruto was standing at the stove making himself breakfast. He had just gotten out of the shower and was wearing only shorts and a towel around his neck. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Wow, so early. I thought I'd have breakfast. Naruto said and opened the door. We are Rias began, but blushed when she saw how Naruto was dressed. Well, if you're ready, then come in, I haven't had breakfast yet. Naruto said and opened the door completely. If all the girls tried not to look at Naruto, then Akino was openly staring at Naruto. Well, enjoy your meal, Naruto said to himself and started eating breakfast. While you eat, could you tell me what we're going to do? Rias said. Here. I made a training schedule for everyone. I will train each one separately. Naruto said. Naruto-kun, where did you get these scars? Akino asked, not paying attention to the training schedule. Well, I am a murderer, Naruto said casually. Everyone immediately turned their gaze to him. Why are you all staring at me like that? Where do you think I got this house and car from? I thought your parents bought you everything, Rias said. No. I don't have parents, they died when I lived for 2 hours. Naruto said and remembered Mineta and Kushina. Sorry, I didn't know. Rias began to apologize. Nothing. Okay, I'll change and we'll start training. Naruto said and went to his room. I wonder what Naruto's childhood was like. Issei asked and began to imagine little Naruto. He lived his whole life alone, it's sad. Asia said. Akino got up from the table and followed Naruto. Naruto was already dressed in a black t-shirt, and on top of that was a black, light jacket, and on his hands were black gloves. On his legs were black pants that did not restrict movement. Now Naruto was standing near the nightstand and looking at a photo of his family, Hinata hugging his children, Himawari and Boruto, and Naruto himself was standing behind and hugging Hinata. Wow, you have a family. Akino said looking at the photo. No, I mean, they were. They're all dead. My son Boruto killed my wife and daughter, and I was at work, signing papers, when my family was killed by my own son. Naruto said, and moisture formed in his eyes. I'm sorry, Naruto. Akino said and hugged Naruto comfortingly. Thank you, Naruto whispered. Okay, they've been waiting for us for a long time, I don't want Issei to start imagining what we can do. Naruto said in a cheerful voice, looking at Akino. Ah, Naruto-kun, what are you doing to me, do you want to rape me? Akino said loudly with her voice, smiling her signature smile. The whole team came to the noise and saw Akino hugging Naruto and reaching for his lips. It looks like our fun was interrupted. Naruto said, looking at the door. MMM? Akino also looked at the aisle and saw the entire club looking at them with wide eyes. Okay, let's go to our training, Naruto said and left the room. In a forest clearing there were 7 people, or rather demons. So, first of all, shadow clone technique. Naruto said and 5 clones appeared next to him. These are my clones, you will train with them, and I will train Issei. Does everyone understand? Naruto said. Everyone was surprised by such a technique, but nodded. Everyone went to the fields, and Naruto and Issei were left alone. Okay Issei, let's be honest, you're a dumbass. You can't run 100 meters in 15 seconds, you can't do 20 push-ups, you can't. Yes, I already understood. Why tell me this? Issei interrupted Naruto. This is an incentive for you. Issei's expression sank. That's a bad incentive, Issei muttered. Now we'll start with a warm-up, 20 push-ups, 30 crunches, and 30 squats. Let's go. Naruto said and Issei started doing push-ups. 10 minutes later, Issei finished. Am going to. Die. Issei said, out of breath. This was a warm-up, now we will practice strikes, follow me. Naruto said and went to the tree. Issei barely moved his legs as he followed Naruto. I want to pee, Issei said. Okay, here you go, Naruto said and threw Issei a bottle of something. Issei didn't ask what it was and just started drinking. It tastes strange, what is it? Issei asked. This is my urine. Naruto said and Issei immediately spat it all out. Is it true? Issei asked. No, it's a cocktail of beaten eggs and milk to make your bones and muscles stronger. Naruto replied and smiled slightly. Issei exhaled and walked up to Naruto. Now you must practice the blows that I will show you now. Do you understand? Naruto said. Yes. Issei replied and began to watch Naruto make punches. Naruto hit 2 straight ones, where the solar plexus was approximately, and then kicked the lower part of the tree. Where Naruto hit there were dents and Issei was surprised. This is a basic connection, you must achieve the same dents on the tree. Until you do what I want, you will not leave here. Naruto said and lay down in the shade under a tree. Hi, Naruto-sensei. Issei said and, after hitting the tree, immediately grabbed his hand and started jumping in pain. The clone and Akino have deviated from the original. As I know, you use lightning at a long distance, am I right? Naruto asked Akino. Akino nodded and continued listening. Since we have little time and you fight well at a long distance, I decided to teach you one technique. Naruto said and stretched out his hand. Chidori. Lightning appeared in Naruto's hand, it made the chirping of 1,000 birds. Naruto ran to a large stone and hit the stone with the technique. It shattered into a bunch of small stones, and the technique had not yet dissipated. Era, it looks like this technique is very powerful. Akino said, looking at what had happened to the stone. My friend taught her for a month, but he didn't know how to use lightning, but then he created other techniques based on Chidori. Naruto said, remembering Sasuke. Wow, what happened to this friend now? Akino asked. He's dead, I killed him. Naruto replied, his eyes turning cold as ice. I see, Akino replied and lowered her head. To create Chidori, you must concentrate and channel your lightning into your palm. Naruto said and held out his hand, he began channeling lightning chakra into his hand and lightning began to appear in his hand. Got it. Akino said and stretched out her hand. She wanted to create a Chidori, but her lightning struck her. Akino flew away. Naruto immediately ran to her and examined her for injuries. Not finding any significant injuries, he helped Akino up. I told you that you have to concentrate. If you don't control your lightning, it will simply destroy you. Naruto said seriously. I understand, Akino replied and continued trying to create a Chidori. Naruto and Kaneko moved a fair distance away from the club members. Since you are a rook, you are strong enough. In order to know what to teach you, I must know what you can do at the moment. Naruto said and stood in a stance. Kaneko ran at Naruto. Swinging, she hit Naruto. Naruto flew away and broke through 2 trees. Not bad at all. Naruto said as he stood up from the ground. Naruto appeared in front of Kaneko and punched her in the stomach. Kaneko spat out drool and flew into a tree. Kaneko rose from the ground, swaying. Enough, I understood what you need. You are really strong, but your reaction and the form of your blow are lame. If you correct your fighting style and improve your reaction, then you will be the strongest in fist fighting. Naruto said. How should I train? Kaneko asked a logical question. You need practice. We will fight for these 10 days, of course, in 10 days you have little chance to correct your mistakes, but you will have combat experience, and this is a strong advantage. Naruto said, and they started fighting again. Naruto and Asia went into the forest and saw a boar. Naruto threw a kunai at it and hit its lung. Asia, you have to heal him, if you don't have time, he will die because of your weakness. Naruto said. Asia immediately ran up to the boar and pulled out a kunai and began to tighten the wound. After tightening the wound, she exhaled, but the boar did not get up. Asia put her hand on the place where his heart should be, but it did not beat. He died because of your weakness, because of your mistake. The kunai was poisoned and you healed the wound without checking whether it was poisoned. Tears welled up in Asia's eyes. But I healed his wound, he should have lived, Asia said. You're a medic, you have to be cold and calculating at all times. Your mistake could kill a comrade. You have to analyze the situation and keep your head cool. Naruto said. But if I don't make it in time, the wounded man might die. But if you hurry, he will definitely die. Okay, follow me, we will practice. Naruto said, and they found the fox. Naruto threw a poisoned kunai at him. The kunai wounded the animal in the leg and the fox fell to the ground unconscious a second later. Asia ran up to the fox and began to examine his wound. Asia removed the poison and tightened the wound. The fox opened his eyes and ran away. There is progress, Naruto said as he approached. Asia smiled. Naruto found a clearing for fighting and unsealed his tanto. Come on, Kiba. Naruto said. Kiba created a sword and ran at Naruto. Kiba went for a vertical slash, but Naruto simply dodged and held the tanto to his throat. I give up, Kiba said. You rely too much on your speed, and your attacks are straightforward. Naruto said. As I understand it, we'll practice so that the muscles remember the movements. The so-called muscle memory. Kiba said and stood in a stance. You're not stupid, Naruto said and also stood in a stance. Naruto and Rias approached the tree. So Rias, since you are the king, you cannot go into open battle. So, you must lead your soldiers. Naruto said. I knew that without you, Rias said. Then I'll move on to the captain or general base. Remember, don't be afraid to sacrifice your soldiers. Naruto said. What? These aren't soldiers, they're my family, said the angry Rias. I know that, but you care too much about them and that's why I'm training you now. You have to turn off your emotions during a fight, because of your anger or sadness, everyone can die. Got me? Naruto said. Yes, Rias answered. Okay, here's a book with all the basic tactics. If you win against Razor, I'll show you my tactics. It's too early to know about them now, your psyche will just break. Naruto said and handed over the red book. What kind of tactics are these? Rias asked in surprise. You'll find out if you beat Razor. Naruto said for motivation. Okay, then I'll win it and become the strongest demoness in hell. Rias said inspiredly and put on her glasses and started reading the book. It had been 10 days. These 10 days were dedicated to training. Now Naruto was watching the game. "Show me what you've learned in these 10 days. Naruto said and put his feet up on the table. The Occult Science Club was where Rias Grimiurai's entire retinue was sitting, and Razor's base was in the new Chancery building. Razor will most likely use his pieces to watch us fight. When all his pieces are gone, he will enter the battlefield himself. So I suggest we play by his rules," Rias said, and the others listened without interrupting. "What should we do?" Issei asked, practically emotionless. No one paid attention to this, since Naruto taught them to put emotions aside during battle. "Kaneko and Kiba, set up traps in this sector," Rias said, pointing at the map. "Akino, set up illusion barriers here." "Yes, President," Akino replied and moved to a tree branch. "As I understand it, Asia and I have to stay here," Issei said. "Yes. You will protect me, but when the time comes, you will go out onto the battlefield," Rias replied. "President, can you hear me?" Akino's voice came through the earpiece. "Yes," Rias answered. "I set up a barrier," Akino said. "President, we're done too," Kaneko intervened in the conversation. "Okay then Kiba and Kaneko, go to the gym, they will be waiting for you there. You have to defeat them, no matter who is there," Rias said. "Hi." Kiba and Kaneko answered at the same time. "Akino, you will have to help them if they can't cope." "Yes, President," Akino replied. "It's almost time for us to leave," Issei, Rias said and looked at her trump card. "Yes, President," Issei replied. After 10 minutes, the ground shook and Graphia's voice was heard. 3 pawns and Razor's rook have been captured." "Great, it looks like Akino did it," Rias said. "Another 3 of Razor-sama's pawns have been eaten." A loud voice rang out. "And this is already Kiba," Issei said. Another explosion sounded. "Rias-sama's rook has been eaten. So Kanika is out, that doesn't change anything. Let her enjoy it while she can," Rias said. 2 pawns, 2 knights, and Razor-sama's bishop have been eliminated." A voice sounded after 20 minutes. "Issei," Rias said and stood up from the couch. "Got it," Issei replied and also stood up from the sofa. "President, you have a plan, right?" Kiba asked. "Of course. We're going to visit Razor," Rias said. Rias, Asia, and Issei quietly entered the new building. "I've been waiting for you, my dear Rias," Razor said and burst into laughter. "I know that. Did you really think I didn't know your tactics? You always use the same tactics. First, you send out your pieces, and then you engage the enemy king yourself," Rias said with a small smile. "Are you saying that I'm predictable?" Razor asked, stopping laughing and starting to get angry. "Yes," Rias answered. "Don't you dare underestimate me." Razor shouted furiously and shot a fireball at Rias and Asia. Rias took Asia and flew up to the roof of the school. "Don't underestimate veterans, Rias," Razor said to the one who appeared on the roof. Rias didn't talk to Razor, but shot a blast of destruction at him. Razor didn't stand there and sent his fireball against Rias' attack. When the magic collided, an explosion was created. "Rias-sama's knight has dropped out." A voice sounded. "What a pity, your horse is out, soon it will go after him and," before Razor could finish speaking, a force of destruction flew at him. Razor dodged the attack. "Razor-sama's queen has been eaten," Gyufia's voice said. "What? How?" Razor shouted. "We were preparing for this game, and you were sucking your queen's tit," Rias said, trying to anger Razor, which she did quite well. "Shut up. I am Razor Phoenix, the blood of the legendary bird flows through me," Razor said proudly. After his words, lightning struck him and tore off half of his body, but Razor recovered. "Sorry, I couldn't help myself," Akino said. "You," Razor hissed through his teeth. A second later, the power of destruction flew at him. Rias and Akino's lightning. Razor flew up dodging the attacks, but Issei was waiting for him there in the balance breaker armor. Issei hit Razor in the head and he flew into the school, breaking the roof of the school. Rias went to the hole and looked, but Razor's fireball was flying into it. Issei stood in front of her and deflected the attack. Boost, boost, boost. A voice came from the glove. Razor flew into the sky and created a huge fireball and sent it towards Issei, but Issei created an infinity dragon barrage and hit it, sending a beam of destruction towards Razor. The fireball and the dragon barrage collided and Issei's attack destroyed Razor's fireball and continued on its way. The beam of power pierced through Razor. Razor screamed in pain, and when the attack ended, Razor fell to the ground unconscious. Razor-sama has been defeated. Ria-sama has won. Grafia said. Not bad, Rias, not bad at all. Issei is also good, and Akino learned Chidori in 10 days. She is a very capable girl. Naruto said as he watched Issei, Rias, Akino, and Asia hug and laugh. The next morning, Naruto came to the occult club. Hello everyone. I saw your game. Compared to what was before, this is a huge step forward. Naruto said and sat down in Rias's place. Yar, Naruto-kun praised us, I'm flattered. Akino said and placed a cup of tea in front of Naruto. Thank you. By the way, Akino, you learned my technique in 10 days, that's worthy of respect. Naruto said and took a sip of tea. It's not necessary, Naruto-kun. If it weren't for this technique, I would have lost to Yuba Luna-san. Akino said and walked up to Naruto. You show promise, Akino-chan. Naruto said. Akino sat on his lap. I will live up to your expectations, Naruto-kun. Akino said and reached for Naruto's lips, but... Ahem. A cough was heard. Akino turned around and saw her friend Rias Gremory. Yar, is Ria-sama embarrassed? Akino asked sarcastically and giggled. Nothing of the sort. It's just that you're doing it in my place, Rias objected. Ah, I get it. You're keeping this place to have sex with Issei. Am I right? Naruto asked and smiled a fox-like smile. No. Rias said, her face turning as red as her hair. Suddenly, the Gremory mark appeared on the floor. I wasn't here. Naruto said and disappeared in a flash. Grafia appeared from the seal. Hello, Ria-sama. Sasuke-sama congratulates you on winning your first rating game. Grafia said in her calm voice. Hello, Grafia-san. We tried hard to win and we did it. Rias answered her. Surzek-sama wants to hold a banquet, you must attend along with your retinue. Grafia said. Okay, we'll come. Rias replied. The banquet will be in 3 days, at 8 o'clock. Don't be late. Grafia said and disappeared into the seal. As soon as Grafia disappeared, Naruto appeared on Rias's chair. It looks like you're leaving soon. Naruto said. Everyone got scared and turned towards him. Why did you leave? Rias asked. There were reasons for that, Naruto answered evasively. Is Naruto-kun afraid of Grafia-san? Akino asked. No, I just don't want to be asked questions. Naruto replied. Well, I guess it's time for me to go. Naruto stood up from his chair. Don't forget to train yourself, otherwise all our training is just a waste of time. We know, Rias replied. Well then, bye everyone, Naruto said and disappeared in a bolt of lightning. Naruto sat in Rias's chair. A second later Rias herself walked through the door. Hello, Rias. Naruto said and waved his hand. Stop sitting in my place. Rias said, starting to get angry. Oh, come on, Naruto said and smiled. Go away. Rias screamed. Naruto immediately became serious and snapped his fingers. Rias appeared on the couch. Now to business, Naruto said in a serious voice and crossed his fingers. What did you want to talk to me about? Rias asked just as seriously. Remember I told you about tactics? Naruto asked. Yes. They will be very harsh for you, but do not forget who you are. Fine. The first thing you have to do is tie Issei to yourself. He has to follow you like a dog on a leash. But he's already mine. Rias didn't understand. I agree, but that's not enough. He should always be nearby, he's your trump card and if you lose him, your strength will drop hundreds of times. Naruto answered. Let's say I listen to you, but how can I tie him up? With my chest? Rias asked. No. You must take away the most valuable thing he has. Kill someone dear to him and then he will not want to lose you. Naruto said. What? I won't do that. Issei is my pawn, he will obey me anyway. Rias screamed. So what? If he uses Juggernaut Drive, then with his power, he will be able to break your figures, since he will be tens of times stronger than you. Naruto said. Rias thought about it. But why would he do that? He values me and the others. Rias was perplexed. When he has the Juggernaut Drive, he will destroy the pawns without even thinking, he will be consumed by hatred and rage. Naruto replied. I don't think he'll betray me. Rias said and stood up from the couch, making it clear that the conversation was over. I warned you, Rias. Naruto said and disappeared into black flames. The next week, Naruto and Issei stood in a large clearing. I'm ready for training, Naruto-sensei. Issei said while stretching his right hand. Okay. Then let's start with a warm-up, let's do 60 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 50 squats, and 10 laps around the clearing. Naruto said. Naruto-sensei, do you want to kill me? Asked a dejected Issei. No, I just want to prepare you for serious opponents. Naruto answered and smiled and patted Issei on the back. Issei started with push-ups and in an hour he finished 10 laps of running. Huh. Senator. S.E. I finished. Huh. Issei said, breathing heavily, lying on the grass. Alright, take a minute to rest and then we'll get to taming the balance breaker. Naruto said as he handed Issei a bottle of water. Huh. Hi. That's all Issei could answer and he began to greedily gulp down the water. A minute later Naruto stood up from the shade of the tree and approached Issei. Well then, let's continue our training. Naruto said. Has it been a minute already? I just lay down. Issei asked, but still stood up. Haha, but I used to be like that. Ah, nostalgia. Naruto said and wiped away a small tear with his finger. Issei fell into the drop. Okay, activate the balance breaker. Naruto said. Hi. Balance breaker. Issei shouted, stretching his left hand upward. Issei was covered in red armor. Okay, as you already know, you can touch the enemy and by imagining the attack it will be implemented in reality, but for this you need training. Naruto said. Hi. I can touch a girl and imagine her naked and her clothes will disappear. Issei began to imagine naked Rias and Akino. Hey. I understand, of course, puberty and all that, but in a fight you shouldn't look at who's in front of you. In front of you is an opponent who wants to kill you, and then he'll kill your friends too. Naruto said and Issei became serious. Sorry. Remember, I'm training you to protect not only yourself, but your loved ones as well. Naruto said. I remember. That's good, then let's continue training. Naruto said and they continued their training until the evening. That's it for today. The next training is tomorrow, same time. Naruto said. Hi. Issei replied and dispelled his armor. Bye. Naruto said and disappeared in a flash. 3 days passed. Naruto and Issei trained every day. Rias was sitting in her club. Why did Naruto tell me to bind Issei to me? Why would he do that? And lately he's been spending more time training with Issei. He's definitely up to something, but what? Rias thought as her best friend Akino Himejima came to see her. Yar, President, what are you thinking about? Akino asked. Oh, nothing special, Rias replied. You're probably thinking about Naruto-kun, am I right? Akino asked and smiled her smile. No, said an indignant Rias. Yar, what's with the reaction? Akino asked. Normal reaction, Rias said. Naruto was sitting at home and suddenly someone rang his doorbell. Naruto opened the door and saw a girl with black hair, in a black dress and a pink jacket. What do you want, little one? Naruto asked. I'm not small, the girl answered. Yeah, what did you want? Naruto didn't argue. I am the dragon god of infinity, Ophis. I want you to join my organization, the Chaos Brigade. Ophis said. Naruto immediately became serious. And how will you prove that you are the dragon god of infinity? Naruto asked. Okay. Ophis said and turned around, stretching out her arms. She created arms from a strange material and destroyed the clearing. Fuck, why the whole clearing? Naruto asked. I'm sorry, said Ophis and did as she was told. Okay, I believe you, but why should I join you? Naruto asked. You are strong and can help defeat the Red Baku, Ophis answered. You mean the Great Red? Naruto asked. Yes, Ophis answered. What did he do? Naruto asked. He kicked me out of my house, so to speak, Ophis replied. Okay, I'll join the Chaos Brigade, but I have to warn you. I have personal reasons, when the time comes I'll leave. Naruto said. Okay, Ophis answered and disappeared. Well, it's time to get started. Naruto said and closed the door. Hayate Issei was currently training in the clearing. Suddenly Naruto appeared in front of him. Naruto-sensei. Issei shouted joyfully and waved his hand. Hello, Issei. I see you're training, Naruto replied. Yes. After all, if I don't train, my loved ones might get hurt. Issei said. It's good that you don't forget why you train. Naruto-sensei, do you want to train me? Issei asked with fire in his eyes. Yes, I want you to awaken the Juggernaut Drive. After these words, Naruto activated the Sharingan. Naruto-sensei? Issei asked, not understanding what they wanted from him. Attack! Naruto shouted and the sky turned purple. Hi! Issei responded and activated Balance Breaker. Naruto ran at Issei, and Issei ran at Naruto. The two punched each other in the face, then Naruto kicked Issei in the head and he flew into a tree, breaking through it. Issei rose from the ground, spread his demon wings and flew up. Decided to fight at a long distance? Smart. Naruto said and unsealed his gunbai, which he had created 4 years ago. It had few seals for strength and reflection. Issei created a charge of demonic power and hit him. The destructive beam flew at Naruto, but he placed the gunbai in front of himself and absorbed it. Divine reflection. Naruto said and the absorbed beam flew back to Issei. The Red Dragon Emperor dodged the beam and flew at Naruto, hoping for the element of surprise. Issei's speed was high and Naruto didn't have time to dodge or block Issei's strike. Issei's hand pierced Naruto's chest. Issei's eyes widened. Naruto-sensei. Issei whispered and took out his hand. Naruto-sensei, I didn't mean to. Naruto-sensei, Issei started to cry. The power of the Red Dragon burst out from Issei and the souls of the past owners of the Red Dragon glove came out of his armor. His neck lengthened and a dragon's mouth appeared, his bracers were torn off from his hands, Issei became twice as big, dragon wings burst out of his back and contained the souls of the past owners, Issei roared and a wave of power blew away the trees and the ground beneath him. Issei began to destroy everything around him. Issei found himself in his subconscious, he was flying in the darkness and heard different voices, but he heard Naruto's voice. Issei. A loud voice rang out, it sounded everywhere. Naruto-san. Issei shouted. You shouldn't be a servant. Naruto spoke. But Rias is not who you see her as, Naruto interrupted Issei. Rias-senpai? She only saved everyone when she needed to. For example, you were lying in the park with a hole in your stomach and dying, your consciousness did not want to die and you thought about Rias and she came, but why didn't she come earlier? Why didn't she save you from the spear of light? She doesn't need you, she only needs your Longinus. Naruto's voice said. Tears poured from Issei's eyes, Issei grabbed his head. No, Rias couldn't. She needs me. Issei said to himself. Really? Then look at her thoughts. Look at what she's thinking about right now. Naruto said and a screen appeared in front of Issei where Rias was. Issei has started to distance himself from me, something needs to be done about it. If Naruto lures him over, I will lose my trump card. Issei's Longinus is too important, I can't let it get away from me. It's decided, I'm going to him. The screen disappeared. Issei couldn't believe his eyes and ears. The girl he loved was using him as a trump card. No. Issei screamed and fell to his knees, holding his hair. Issei. Stop being her servant, serve me and we will take revenge on Rias Gremory. Naruto's voice said. Issei's eyes became empty, there was no life in them. Issei looked in front of him and saw 8 pawns. Issei took them and crushed them. A huge wave of power spread out from Issei outside. He destroyed all the trees and left a huge crater under him. His roar made a crack in the barrier. Issei became much larger, his power increased hundreds of times. Since Issei destroyed the pawns, the power limiters also flew off. Suddenly Issei passed out and Naruto turned off his Sharingan. Naruto caught Issei. It's a start. Naruto said and moved to his house and put Issei on the sofa in the living room. Rias was walking to Issei's house, but suddenly she no longer felt Issei as her figure. Naruto came out of the alley. I warned you, Rias. Issei will leave sooner or later. Naruto said. But why? What did I do wrong? Rias asked, lowering her head down, tears falling from her face onto the asphalt. She clenched her fists and straightened them in her wrists. He entered a juggernaut drive and broke your pieces, Naruto replied. Why? What did I do to him? What did I do wrong? Rias screamed. He didn't want to be a slave. He realized that he is much stronger than you and your entire retinue and doesn't want to serve you anymore. You can say you were lucky, Valley actually killed his king. Naruto said. Rias fell to her knees. I won't forgive. Rias shouted and rose from the asphalt and a travel circle appeared under her. Rias traveled to Issei's house. Issei's mother was preparing dinner, and his father was reading the newspaper in the kitchen. Rias? The man asked in surprise. Rias didn't answer and created a power of destruction and killed Issei's father and mother. The kitchen was almost completely destroyed. Rias went into Issei's room and destroyed it. The dam caught fire. Rias disappeared into the teleportation circle. Issei woke up on the floor in Naruto's living room. Finally woke up, said Naruto, who was eating his breakfast. What happened? Issei asked, rubbing the back of his head. No wonder you don't remember. You caused such a fuss. Naruto chuckled. I hope I didn't do anything to the president. Issei panicked. Naruto became serious and put his chopsticks down. You didn't, but she killed your parents and destroyed your home. Naruto said in a cold voice. And no, that's a lie. Issei shouted. I understand why you don't believe me, then see for yourself. Naruto said and turned on the TV. Behind me is the house where explosions were heard. It is not yet clear what caused the fire, but the firefighters think it was a gas leak. What is this? Minato, take it. As you can see, 2 people died in the house. We don't know exactly who it is yet, but I can assure you, we will find out. Naruto turned off the TV. Issei couldn't believe what he saw and heard. His psyche was shaken, his pupils shrank, he grabbed his head. No, that's not true. She couldn't, Issei said to himself. You know very well that it's true. Rias killed your parents because you broke her pieces. You're not her pawn anymore. Naruto said. Issei clutched his shirt over his heart. She couldn't, she's not like that, she said that she loved me, Issei muttered. You probably guess, but I'll tell you. She said it to tie you to herself. You have one of the strongest Longini and losing such a trump card is simply not to her advantage. Naruto said after finishing his breakfast. I hate her, I will take revenge. Issei said in a dead voice. Naruto smiled. There is one. Naruto thought. Rias was currently in the occult club talking to Akino. President, where is Issei-kun? Akino asked. He is no longer part of my retinue, Rias replied dryly. What? But how? Akino asked in surprise. He awakened the juggernaut drive and broke the pieces. Rias answered in the same way. I see. Akino answered sadly. The club door opened and its members stood there. Ria-senpai, where is Issei-kun? The blonde-haired girl asked. He's not mine anymore. He broke the pawns inside him. Ria said in a dead voice. Everyone was very surprised. How did he do it? Kiba asked. He awakened the Juggernaut drive. Rias replied. Everyone was depressed. Issei's departure was a big blow to them. Suddenly, thunder sounded in the room and Naruto appeared. Hello everyone. Why are you so sad? Naruto said, although he knew the answer perfectly well. Issei, him. Asia began to speak. Issei left the Gremory family. Akino interrupted her. Well, that's a pity. It'll be sad here now. Issei was the life of the party. Naruto said and scratched his head. Asia couldn't hold back and started crying. She loved Issei, and when he left, it hurt her. Once again, the person she loved left her. She's alone again. Akino came up to her and hugged her, starting to stroke her golden hair. The Gremory family mark appeared next to Naruto. Damn. Naruto said quietly and disappeared in a flash. Graphia Lucifuge appeared from the sign. Hello, Ria-sama, Surzek-sama wants to see you. Graphia said in a commanding voice. Okay. Ria said and stood next to Graphia. They disappeared in a silver light. Rias and Graphia appeared in front of Surzek's Lucifer. Rias, why? Surzek asked in a cold and serious tone. He had never acted like this with his little sister, but when he found out what she did he was angry, but he held back. I don't understand what you're talking about. Rias played the fool. Don't you dare lie to me, Rias. Surzek couldn't take it anymore. Brother, You killed Huda Issei's parents, your servant and part of your family. Not only that, the whole world found out about it. Do you even understand what you did? Rias, I thought better of you. Surzek said and waved his hand to indicate that he could go. Rias' eyes began to water. She disappeared into a red pentagram and appeared in the club. Seeing Rias return, everyone saw tears pouring from her eyes. Akino hugged Rias. Rias hugged Akino and cried into her shoulder. It hurt her to lose her beloved demon and then listen to her brother scold her. Rias' psyche was shaken. She didn't want to see her brother and Issei anymore. She wanted to kill Issei because of his betrayal. A month has passed since Issei removed Rias' shackles. Naruto became very close to Akino and also influenced Rias. She was no longer the cheerful girl, she was cold and calculating. Today was the meeting of the heads of the three factions and Rias felt that something would go wrong. After classes, Rias and her entourage sat in the occult research club and were very worried, of course, because it is not every day that the heads of the three factions gather and you are there. It's time. Rias said, getting up from her chair. Her retinue followed her example and getting up from the sofas they went to the office where the meeting of the faction heads was taking place. With your permission. Rias said and entered the hall. Zenobia saw her friend Irina. Irina turned away when she saw Zenobia. This is Rias Gremory's retinue. She is directly related to the recent incident with Kokobile. Surzek said. Well, since everyone is here, I suggest we begin negotiations. Michael said. Rias and Sona Citri briefly explained the situation. Thank you, Rias, Sona-chan. Serafal thanked and Rias and Sona stood up in their places. I would like to hear the opinion of the Fallen Lord regarding Rias Gremory's report. Michael said. My opinion is not important, because Kokobile acted of his own free will, said Azazel. So you have nothing to do with this? I only gave him free rein to figure out what he was up to. He didn't even suspect that I was watching him from very close by. By the way, where is the red dragon? He is in your retinue, Rias-sama. Azazel asked. Rias grimaced. Don't change the subject, Michael said. I asked the white man to fight with him, which he did, and then I locked Kokobile in eternal ice. We will not see him again. Why did he go so far? And he was not your ruler. Michael said. Yeah. He didn't like that the last war was a draw. Well, I'm not interested in war. And he decided to start a rebellion, right? Serafal asked. I heard that there were some who were not happy among you, Azazel answered her. That has nothing to do with the current situation. We gathered here too. Before Surzax could finish speaking, Azazel interrupted him. Let's forget what happened and sign a peace treaty. Isn't that why we gathered here, you and I? The instigators of the last war, God and Satan, are no more. And here I would like to ask the opinion of those who are directly connected with the three factions and can influence the balance in this world with their own strength. The White Dragon and the Red Dragon, but since there is no red one, I suggest asking the white one. Everyone turned their gaze to Valley. I don't care, the main thing is that there is a worthy opponent. Even in peacetime, there is a strong enemy. Azazel said. Suddenly, time stopped, weak demons froze, and those with artifacts and incredible power were not frozen. Magicians appeared on the street and began to destroy the barrier. Are we under attack? Rias asked. It looks like a vampire's power, Surzax said. By the way, why didn't you freeze? Azazel asked. Rias took out a strange knife with strange symbols on it. None of Rias' subordinates understood what it was, but Surzax, Azazel, Michael, Seraphal, and Graphia were very surprised to see it. We'll talk later, Rias. Surzax said in a stern voice. Naruto? Is he involved in this? Michael asked. Most likely. Knowing him, he couldn't help but intervene. Surzax said. Brother, I have an unused rook left in the old building. Rias said. Varnishing, that is. Gasper is a member of my family and I must help him. Rias said firmly. Master, if we use your power, we can transport one more person. Graphia said. Then let me go. Kiba said. Okay. Surzax answered after thinking. Rias and Kiba stood in the movement circle. Hey, wait a minute. Here, take these bracelets, they will help restrain Gasper's power. Azazel said. Kiba took the bracelets and took Ria's hand. Take care of my sister, Kiba-kun. Surzax said and moved them to the old building. Valley, you can have fun with our guests, Azazel said. Okay. Valley said and spread his wings. Kiba and Rias appeared in the old building and immediately began to look for Kaneko and Gasper. A few minutes later, they heard an explosion in the new building, but without stopping looking for Gasper and Kaneko, they heard someone's screams. Opening the doors, they saw Gasper and Kaneko locked in magical shackles. Gasper! Rias shouted and Kiba summoned his sword, and the mages pointed knives at Gasper and Kaneko. Why didn't the vampire's power work on you? Asked one of the magicians. None of your business. Rias replied coldly. Kiba, using his night power, cut off everyone's head at high speed. Gasper and Kaneko both fell to the floor. Rias ran up to Gasper and Kaneko and hugged them. Are you okay? Rias asked with concern. Yes. Gasper and Kaneko answered at the same time. I'm so happy, but there's no time, we need to help the others. Rias said as she became serious. Azazel was fighting with Kateria Leviathan. Rias, Kiba, Kaneko, and Gasper moved into the barrier. Brother, let me help Zenovia, she's my family member. Rias said looking at her brother. Okay. Surzax and Rias answered. Kaneko and Kiba entered the battlefield. It's all because of me. I want to be as strong as you, Kiba-senpai, and thank the president for her kindness to me. That's why I will also fight for my friends. Gasper said and took off the bracelet that Kiba had put on in the new building. A light appeared from which everyone closed their eyes. When the light went out, the barrier fell and everyone began to move again. What's going on here? Sona asked. Welcome back, Sanachka. Seraphal said as she jumped on Sona. Akino, I'll explain everything later, but right now we need help. Rias said. Understood, President. Akino said and began to attack the remaining mages. Azazel defeated Kateria and watched the fight, but he was suddenly attacked by someone and crashed into the ground, leaving a large crater there. Valley, you seem to have forgotten who your enemy is. Azazel said, climbing out of the crater. Forgive me, Azazel, but being on the opposite side is much more fun, Valley said. Let me ask you one question, Valley. Azazel said and flew up to Valley. Which? My vice general began to gather all those around the world who could pose a threat to the three factions. And she called it the Chaos Brigade, if I'm not mistaken. I gathered all the strong people. How much strength does it take to do something like that? Serafal asked. And at the head stands none other than the dragon Ouroboros office. Office? It can't be. Rias said, and beads of sweat ran down her face. Indeed, we have joined forces with the office, but neither she nor I care about this world and world domination. All who desire power will sooner or later join us. Valley said. It's clear, and here your plans coincided with Catray. Just like her, you would have returned Satan's stolen throne. Azazel said, surprising everyone. The stolen throne? Rias asked, not understanding. My name is Valley Lucifer. What did you say? Surzax asked. It can't be. Rias said. My father is a pure-blooded demon, and my mother is a simple human. I am a half-breed, Valley said. It can't be. It's not true. Rias shouted. Half-blood, is that it? That explains why we didn't know about you. Surzax said. It is quite possible that he is the strongest bearer of the white dragon, in the present, past and future. Azazel said. Suddenly, a red pentagram appeared next to Valley. From it appeared a man in red dragon armor. It was Hyota Issei. Valley, Naruto ordered us to return. Issei said without emotion. Understood. Well then, we'll see each other again, Surzax, Serafal. Dallas said and wanted to disappear with Issei, but they were stopped. Issei. Rias shouted and shot her destruction power at Issei. Issei didn't move when the attack almost hit him, he simply reflected it with his hand without putting much effort. Everyone who saw this was shocked. Rias was one of the strongest in magic, and Issei without straining reflected her destruction power, which she put a quarter of her magic into. You're still weak, Rias. You can't kill me, so you killed my parents. Issei said, holding back from killing Rias. Everyone who heard this looked at Rias with wide eyes. Rias lowered her head and fell to her knees, her eyes filled with tears. Aye. Rias wanted to say something in her defense, but Issei and Vala disappeared into the red circle, not listening to her. Rias, how could you? Akino asked her best friend. It's because of you that he left us. Asia shouted and started to cry. She loved Issei very much, and when he left she was very upset, but when she found out what Rias did, she stopped respecting her and considering her a member of her family. Rias, tell everyone why you did this. Surzax said. Commentary on the gathering of the three factions. Sorry for the fucking delay. I lost interest in this story, but after hitting myself on the head and seeing how many people want a sequel, I just couldn't help but write this part. As an apology, I wrote almost 5 pages. Write comments, I'm interested to read how you will react to this part. Thank you all. In the Occult Research Club, there were many devils, angels, and fallen angels. Right now, the fate of Rias Gremory was being decided. The Gremory family never hurt their servants, they treated their servants as family, and what Rias did was unforgivable. Graphia Lucifuge, the wife and maid of Surzax Lucifer, the current Satan, entered the room. Rias Gremory, please follow me. Surzax Sama and your parents are waiting for you. Graphia said in a commanding voice. Rias stood up from the table and followed Graphia. Rias and Graphia walked in silence. Rias wondered what they would do to her, but she had no idea what kind of punishment awaited her. Opening the door to one of the classrooms, Rias and Graphia entered. Graphia stood behind Surzax, and Rias stood in front of her parents with her head down, waiting for them to speak. Rias, you have greatly disappointed us, said Zeoticus, Rias' father. I can't believe you could do that, said her mother, then Alana. Rias, your punishment will be severe. I hope you understand that? Surzax said seriously. Yes, Lucifer Sama. Rias replied. Then let's begin. Surzax said and stood up from his seat. Rias Gremory, you are accused of murdering innocent people. During the investigation, it was found out that you collaborated with Naruto Otsutsuki, a SSSSS plus class criminal. Do you admit it? Yes. Then the Gremory Family Council has passed its sentence on you. Surzex paused and continued. Rias Gremory, you are stripped of your status as a king and exiled from the Gremory family. From now on, you are an S-class criminal. I ask that you do not resist and surrender to be imprisoned. Surzex said. Rias's eyes widened. She could not believe what she was hearing. Her family had abandoned her. A guard appeared next to Rias who wanted to tie Rias up, but Rias pushed them away and shot a destructive force at the ceiling. The ceiling fell and crushed the guards. Rias spread her wings and flew up. Everyone who heard the explosion ran to the windows to see what was happening. Rias's peerage ran to the window and saw Rias flying away in the opposite direction at high speed. They wanted to fly after her, but they saw 5 devils flying after her. The door to the club opened and standing there were Surzex, Grafia, Zeoticus, and Benalana. Rias's entourage, since Rias is an S-class criminal, we are forced to put you under arrest. Everyone who heard this could not believe that she would be treated like this. The demons surrounded Rias's entourage and began to approach with slow steps. Gasper! Zenobia shouted. Got it, Gasper said, and everyone took hold of him, and in a moment the 6 demons disappeared. Declare Rias's retinue as A-rank criminals. Surzex ordered as he appeared in his throne room. Yes, sir. Grafia replied and bowed and disappeared into the silver light. Bitch! Surzex cursed and broke the table in front of him. Naruto was sitting in a skyscraper in New York. Now he was thinking about who he should take into his organization. While sorting through folders with candidates, a beautiful girl with long purple hair and violet eyes came to him. Her figure was like an hourglass, third-size breasts and a firm ass. Naruto looked at the girl. Akino, can you replace me for a while? Naruto asked his girlfriend. Of course, Naruto. But can I ask you a question? Akino answered. I'll go tonight to get 1 demon to replenish my organization. Naruto said, already knowing what Akino would ask. I see. And who is he? Zenobia Corda, wielder of the holy sword Durandal. She is quite strong, and we will definitely need her power. Naruto replied, looking out the large window. But you don't have any scheduled things to do right now, right? Akino asked. Naruto smiled at the corners of his lips. No. Then you need to do something. Akino said in a languid voice in Naruto's ear. Naruto turned around and kissed Akino, hugging her around the waist. Akino wrapped her arms around Naruto's neck and deepened the kiss. The next second they found themselves at Naruto's house. Pushing Akino onto the bed, Naruto took off his jacket, tie, and shirt, while Akino took off her shirt and skirt. Naruto and Akino plunged into a deep kiss again. Akino's hands wandered over Naruto's body and went lower and lower. Naruto took Akino's breast with his right hand, and stroked her wet panties with his left. Naruto took off Akino's bra and went down to her nipples. Naruto's left hand lay on Akino's right breast, and he sucked and periodically bit her left. Akino made sweet moans from the pleasant sensations. Naruto pulled away from Akino's chest and took off his pants. Akino saw Naruto's member and smiled a lustful smile. Ooh, what a big boy. Akino said and pushed Naruto onto the bed, taking the initiative. Akino began to suck the head of the penis, gradually increasing the tempo. Naruto enjoyed it and threw his head back. Akino sucked Naruto for 15 minutes, but then Naruto turned Akino over and spread her legs. Naruto rubbed his penis against Akino's pussy and entered sharply. Akino screamed and tears flowed from her eyes. Naruto kissed Akino to distract her from the pain. After a couple of minutes Akino moved her hips, making it clear that she was ready to continue. Naruto began to slowly increase the tempo and after 5 minutes Akino was moaning loudly from pleasure and Naruto's pressure. Naruto pounded Akino for 10 minutes and then changed his position, putting Akino on all fours. He began pounding Akino again. Indecent slaps and loud moans could be heard throughout the house. After 20 minutes, Akino took the initiative by pushing Naruto onto his back and sitting on his cock. She began to jump on Naruto's cock, her eyes rolling in pleasure. After 15 minutes, Naruto put his hands on Akino's waist and sped up. Loud slaps could be heard throughout the room. After 10 minutes, Akino arched and they both came. Akino fell exhausted onto Naruto's chest. It was wonderful, Akino said, breathing heavily. Agreed. Naruto replied and hugged Akino. Akino fell asleep on Naruto's chest with a smile on her face. After lying there for a while, Naruto carefully put Akino on the bed, and he got dressed and left the house. Naruto moved to the room where Zenobia was sleeping. "Oh my god, you don't look like you're an A-class criminal," Naruto said as he sat down on the chair. Zenobia suddenly opened her eyes and jumped up from her seat, took out her Durandal and got into a stance. "Who are you? And why are you here?" Zenobia began to ask questions. "My name is Naruto Otsutsuki. I have come to offer you to join my organization," Naruto replied in a serious tone. "Why should I agree? I can give you a roof over your head, you won't need anything, but most importantly I will give you protection from angels, demons, and fallen angels." Naruto answered the question. Zenobia thought about Naruto's offer. She couldn't constantly run from 3 factions and live in hotels. "Okay, I agree, but I have a condition," Zenobia replied. "Which?" "Kiba, Asia, Kaneko, Gasper will go with me, and we also need to find Akino." Zenobia said her demands. "No, I won't take the rest, but I can find Akino," Naruto said. "Then I won't go anywhere." "Don't you want me to find your friend?" Naruto asked. Zenobia clicked her tongue in irritation. "Okay, but you will have to ensure the safety of my friends," Zenobia said. "I won't do anything. If you need it so much, then do it yourself when you have free time," Naruto answered, getting up from his chair. Zenobia wasn't happy with this arrangement, but she couldn't do anything. "Why did you choose me?" Zenobia asked. "You are very strong and you have one of the 7 holy swords, Durandal," Naruto replied. "I see," Zenobia replied, putting away her Durandal. "Welcome to Tsukuyami, Zenobia Quarta," Naruto said as he held out a white cloak with a large red Rinne Sharingan. Zenobia put on the cloak and teleported with Naruto to his home. "Will I live here?" Zenobia asked, looking around the huge mansion. "Yes, your room is on the 2nd floor, 3rd door on the left," Naruto answered as he walked into the dark corridor. Zenobia climbed the stairs to the 2nd floor and entered her room. It wasn't special: a large double bed, a wardrobe, a nightstand, a table, and a chandelier. "Forgive me, friends," Zenobia thought, looking out the large window. Riser Phoenix There were 2 people sitting at a large table. A blue-haired girl dressed in a black tight uniform and black leather boots, and on top of that was a white cloak with a Rinne Sharingan on her back. This was Zenobia Quarta, a member of the Tsukiyomi organization. The second was dressed in a black jacket, under it was a white shirt and a black tie, on his feet were black pants and black shoes. This was Naruto Otsutsuki, the head of the Tsukiyomi organization. Now they were having breakfast, but from the dark corridor footsteps were heard. Zenobia got up from the table and summoned her Durandal. From the shadows first appeared slender legs on purple heels, then a beautiful female body appeared, dressed in a purple dress that emphasized her curves and showed the girl's cleavage. A second later the girl's face appeared. "Akino?" Zenobia asked in surprise as she put away Durandal. "Oh, welcome to our not-so-big family yet," Akino said, smiling her smile. Akino continued her way and sat on Naruto's lap. "Akino, so I found Akino, I fulfilled my contract," Naruto said, hugging Akino. "She was already here," Zenobia shouted indignantly, but she felt a strong pressure and thirst for blood. She could barely stand on her feet, sweat dripping from her head from such pressure. "Don't you dare talk to me like that," Naruto said in a low and cold voice. I understand," Zenobia managed to squeeze out. "Naruto, calm down, she's going to fall unconscious," Akino said in a sweet voice. Naruto released the pressure and bloodlust. "Just need to show her where she belongs and who she should talk to," Naruto said. "Okay, I have to go." Akino stood up from Naruto's lap. Naruto kissed Akino and disappeared in a yellow lightning. Zenobia watched with wide eyes and open mouth. Oh, Zenobia, what are you looking at like that for?" Akino asked. "Akino, why are you here?" Zenobia asked, becoming serious. "I've been here for a long time. I want to be close to Naruto, he made me a pure-blooded demon. Akino answered. I see, Zenobia said and was about to leave when a red pentagram appeared in front of her and Akino. This is... Zenobia didn't have time to think before a teenager with brown hair and brown eyes appeared in front of her. He was wearing a black jacket, and underneath it was a red t-shirt. On his feet were black and red pants and red sneakers. On top of all of this was a white cloak, showing his affiliation with the Tsukiyomi organization. Akino, has Naruto left already? Issei asked in a cold tone. Yes, he asked me to give this. Akino answered with a smile on her lips and opened the scroll. Zenobia was surprised when she saw what Akino did. Issei took the scroll and put it in his pouch. Thank you. Issei said and turned his attention to Zenobia and disappeared. This is Issei, he became like this after an incident with his parents. I think you know what that incident was. Akino said. I see, but what should I do now? Naruto didn't give me any tasks. Zenobia said. You can rest for now, Naruto is gathering the organization and for now you are free, Akino answered, sitting down at the table and starting to have breakfast. I see. Zenobia answered and wanted to leave, but Akino called out to her. And one more thing, if you tell anyone about the organization, or betray us, then I will personally kill you. Akino said without her smile and in a cold voice. I understand, Zenobia replied and disappeared into the white light. Naruto looked at the next demon he would call to Tsukuyomi. Razor Phoenix, you're next. Naruto thought and a white circle appeared in front of him. Valley appeared from it. Why did you call, Naruto? Valley asked, looking into Naruto's eyes. Your tongue will be your undoing one day, Naruto said, turning his gaze to Valley. That's unlikely. Okay, that's not why I called you. You and your team have something to do. You have to come to this church and perform this ritual. Naruto said, handing over the scroll. Okay. Valley answered, taking the scroll and opening it, his eyes widened. This is it. Zenobia appeared on the roof of the abandoned house and looked at the orange-haired girl. Irina, will you forgive me one more time? Zenobia thought. Irina sneezed and looked out the window at the roof of the abandoned house, but there was no one there. Who remembers me? Irina asked herself. Valla's team arrived at the church. Entering the church, Valley opened the scroll Naruto gave him. Biko threw the living body of a man on the floor. Valley opened the jar of blood and spilled it on the scroll with symbols. The blood on the scroll flowed to the man and created many seals and a small circle around the man. Valley folded his hands into a lock and called the technique Unholy Resurrection Technique. The blood that was nearby turned into something like paper and stuck to the man. The man woke up from the pain and began to scream, but after a few seconds, a girl with black hair and purple eyes was in front of everyone. She was dressed in black leather clothes that covered her intimate places. Hello again, Rainal, Valley said. What? What am I doing here? I'm dead. Rainal asked. I resurrected you on the leader's orders, Valley replied. What kind of leader is this? Naruto Otsutsuki, he is the leader of the Tsukuyomi organization. I understand, but what does this have to do with me? Rainal asked, screaming. To be honest, I don't know myself, but if the leader ordered it, it means he has plans for you. Valley answered, turning towards the exit. Even in death, you're still loud, meow, Kuroka said. You're as annoying as always, Kuroka, Rainal answered, heading towards the exit. A white circle appeared in Naruto's office, from which a demon and a fallen angel emerged. I did what you asked, Naruto. Valley said, folding his arms across his chest. Okay, you can go. Naruto said and Valley disappeared. Valley told me who you are, but I can't understand why you need me. How impolite, we won't even get acquainted. Naruto said, folding his hands and leaning his head on them. I am Rainal, a fallen angel. That's a completely different matter. I'm Naruto Otsutsuki, third in the power table. I'm right after Great Red and Ophis, but that doesn't mean I'm weaker than them. Naruto introduced himself, and Rainal's eyes widened and a drop of sweat rolled down from such an introduction. You have to be careful with him, otherwise he'll kill you and not even notice. Rainal thought. First, I will remove the unholy resurrection from you. After these words, Naruto made seals and touched Rainal's shoulder. Light emanated from Rainal, but after a few seconds, it went out and Rainal became alive. I'm alive again, Rainal said in surprise. Yes, now you serve me. Change your clothes, your room is on the second floor, fifth door on the left. Naruto said and moved Rainal to his house. A minute later, Akino appeared in front of him. Naruto, explain yourself. What is a girl in a BDSM costume doing in our house? Akino screamed. Calm down, Akino. You were so angry that you didn't even notice who it was? Naruto said in a calm voice. What are you talking about? Akino asked, calming down. This is Rainal, the fallen angel you killed in the church. Remember? It can't be. She's dead, said the surprised Akino. I resurrected her, I have my own plans for her, Naruto said. I see, Akino replied and disappeared. I think it's time to visit Riser. Naruto said to himself and moved to Riser's room. At this time, Riser was having fun with his queen in a large bed, but after hearing a strange sound, they stopped and Riser saw Naruto. Who are you and how did you get here? Riser asked. Naruto waved his hand and the busty girl disappeared. I think we should talk in private. Naruto said and put up a barrier in Riser's room. What did you do with Yubaluna? Riser asked. Don't be afraid, I moved her to her room. Naruto answered. Riser calmed down a little. So who are you? I am Naruto Otsutsuki, and I want to invite you to my organization Tsukuyumi. Huh, why would I, a pure-blooded demon, serve the likes of you? Riser asked arrogantly. Naruto let go of his cue, Riser couldn't breathe. Don't get cocky, boy. I've let out a drop of my bloodlust and you're already suffocating, but I'm kind today and I'll forgive you. Naruto put his cue away and Riser could breathe again. Why do you need me? Riser asked, breathing in. I need your power. Your immortality will help me. Naruto answered truthfully. Okay, I'll join your organization, Riser said after thinking. The right choice, welcome to Tsukuyumi, Riser Phoenix. Naruto said as he placed Tsukuyumi's cloak on the table. Get dressed, you're living with us now. Riser quickly put on his shirt, boxers, jeans, socks, black shoes, and a new cloak. Naruto transported Riser home. Commentary on Riser Phoenix. Guys, show your active side. If 45 people are waiting for the continuation, then the next part will come out immediately. Equals 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 Rias equals 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 equals. A girl with red hair, a beautiful figure and dressed in the school uniform of Kuo Academy, walked in a dark forest. This girl's name was Rias Gremory. She was dehydrated, she had not eaten for 5 days, her clothes were torn in some places, she was terribly cold. Walking through the forest, she tripped over the root of one of the trees and rolled into the cliff, but luck was on her side. Rias managed to grab onto a thick tree root. Rias was able to climb onto solid ground, but it cost her last strength. Rias almost passed out, everything was blurry in her eyes, but she was able to make out the silhouette of a man. Rias's eyes closed and she lay unconscious. Rias woke up in some room, although you can't call it a room, it was a prison cell. White walls that were leaking and had moss on them, a hard mattress, a toilet, a mirror and a sink. A minute later, a thick iron door creaked open. Because of the light it was impossible to see who was standing in the passage. A man came up to Rias and injected something into her neck and Rias fell asleep again. Rias woke up in some basement, there was a stench of blood everywhere and there were different instruments. Suddenly, a man dressed in a white robe, white pants and white shoes entered the room. The princess has woken up, the man said, looking at Rias. WW, who are you? Rias asked in fear. You don't know me? I thought you girls in hell knew me. Well, since you don't know me, I guess I should introduce myself. I'm Jack, also known as Jack the Ripper. Jack answered. And no, let me go. I don't want to die. Rias screamed hysterically. Oh yes, these screams, this despair, this is the only reason I live. Jack said, raising his head and placing his palm on his face in a theatrical gesture. Let me go, you fucking psycho. Rias screamed, tears pouring from her eyes. Shut up! Jack yelled and punched Rias in the face. Blood started to flow from Rias' nose and she lowered her head and bit her lip to keep from screaming. Jack walked over to the table where the gramophone was and put on a record. A violin melody started playing. Jack put on medical gloves and walked over to the counter where various items were lying. He picked up the blacksmith tongs and walked over to Rias. "What beautiful nails, I think I'll keep them for myself, you don't mind?" Jack asked and began to tear off Rias' nails. "Ah!" Rias screamed from unbearable pain, but this only excited Jack more and more. "Yes, scream, beg me to stop. Show me your suffering." Jack screamed, continuing to tear off her nails. Rias' consciousness became clouded and she began to close her eyes, from such pain, but Jack gave her a sharp slap and Rias regained consciousness. "Don't rush to leave me, I've only just started," Jack said, tearing off the last nail. Rias was breathing heavily. She looked at the floor and thought why she was doing all this. Jack took a tray with tools and began to choose, stopping at a machete. He took it and went to Rias. "Enough, please," Rias said quietly. "No, you're not here for long. You better tell me where I should cut you," Jack answered. Jack started cutting the skin on his right hand, but suddenly everything shook and 3 demons jumped out of the ceiling and pierced Jack with pitchforks. Footsteps were heard from the stairs and after a few seconds a demon appeared, dressed in a military uniform and with a sword on his back. "Jack the Ripper has been eliminated, we can return to the base," said the squad captain and took off, followed by 3 demons. Rias looked at the machete and swung on the chair, fell and began to crawl to the large knife. When she crawled to it, she freed her arms and legs. Rias was hungry and began to walk around the whole house, and in one of the rooms she noticed a lot of food. She immediately began to eat all the food and after 10 minutes she was full. Leaving the destroyed house, Rias opened a portal to the human world and entered it. Rias appeared on the roof of a skyscraper and looked at the sunset. "I need allies," Rias said without emotion. Rias walked down the road in her new clothes. She wore a very revealing robe of blue shades, with an open back, stomach and shoulders. The robe has a long hem at the back, and in the middle of the front there is a small zipper. Instead of sandals and leggings, Rias wears long underpants and high platform shoes. On top of everything was a black cloak with a red bird on the back. Now Rias was recruiting servants for her organization, the goal of which is to destroy Tsukuyumi. After walking a couple of kilometers, Rias saw a man who was fighting 2 fallen. Rias immediately helped him. She killed the fallen with her power of destruction and their bodies fell to 3 more. Rias approached the man. He looked like this: black Yeezy Boost 350, black baggy pants, a green jacket, and under it a Supreme hoodie. His hair was white, and on his face was a black mask that hid half of his face. "Thanks for your help," said the guy. "What is your name?" Rias asked. "My name is Yasuto Kakashi, what's your name?" Kakashi asked. "I am Rias Gremory. Since I saved you, now you owe me." Rias replied. "I agree. And what do you want from me?" "You will join my organization, Aojirai Tree," Rias said. Kakashi thought about it and gave his answer. "Okay, after all, I owe you my life. Take this and wear it. This cloak shows your affiliation with Aojirai," Rias said as she handed over a red cloak with a black bird on the back. Kakashi put on the cloak and fastened his braid on his back. Rias and Kakashi were transported to a large castle. There were medieval armor, swords, and paintings everywhere. "Wow, not a bad hideout," Kakashi said as he looked around the castle. "Your room is down the hall, first door on the left," Rias said. "Got it," Kakashi replied and went to his room. Rias went to her office and started looking for new allies. Comment on Rias. "Sorry for the small part, it's just that 3 things played a role here. 1. My power was cut off for the whole day. 2. I don't know what to write. 3. I was just too lazy to write." Enjoy reading. Home sweet home Naruto stood in his office looking at the beautiful sunset. "Well, I guess the time has come, my friend," Naruto thought as 2 of his strongest servants, Hayadu Issei and Vala Lucifer, appeared behind him. Let's go. Naruto said and stretched out his hand. A distortion of reality appeared in the air and a portal appeared. When Naruto, Issei, and Valley entered it, it closed. On the rock where 6 faces were carved, a portal appeared and 3 people came out of it. Home sweet home. Naruto thought as he looked at his home village. Naruto, Issei, and Vala put their hoods on their heads and jumped off the cliff. The 3 walked down the street. One of them stopped and looked at the old dorm where he used to live. Raising the corners of his lips, he continued on his way. When Naruto, Issei, and Vala passed all the streets and entered an open clearing, they were surrounded by people in combat gear and animal masks, and in front of them was a man in a white cloak with the kanji 6th generation fire shadow. "Who are you and why are you here?" the man asked. Valley and Issei were on guard. But Naruto was completely relaxed. "Is this the right way to greet your student, Kakashi-sensei?" Naruto asked, removing his hood. Kakashi and the ANBU members' eyes widened. "It can't be," Kakashi said, not believing his eyes. One of the ANBU members ran up to Naruto and hugged him. Issei and Valley wanted to kill her, but Naruto gave them a sign not to do anything. "Naruto, Naruto, Naruto," the girl kept saying. Naruto took off his mask and saw his teammate, Sakura Haruno. Naruto hugged Sakura. "Hello, Sakura," Naruto said, hugging his best friend. "Well, tell me what brought you to us and who you came to us with," said Kakashi, taking out a bottle of sake from a secret nightstand. "These are my, so to speak, comrades. I came here for the DNA of one person," Naruto said. Kakashi looked at Naruto with narrowed eyes. "And what kind?" Kakashi asked. When Naruto said the man's name, Kakashi's eyes widened in shock. "There will soon be a war in the world I moved to and I need strength," Naruto said. Kakashi nodded. "Okay, I'll give you his blood," Kakashi said, pouring sake into cups. Naruto and Kakashi clinked glasses and drank the contents of the cup. Naruto and Kakashi drank all day and in the evening they went home. In the morning there was a knock on Naruto's door. Naruto got up and rubbed his eyes and walked to the door. Looking through the peephole he saw ANBU. Opening the door, ANBU held out his hand with a small box. Naruto took the box and closed the door. Naruto went to the kitchen and put the box on the table and sat on a chair. Opening the box he saw a vial of blood. Great, Naruto thought and closed the box. A couple of hours later, Naruto came out of the apartment and Issei and Valley appeared in front of him. "I got what I need, we can go back," Naruto said, opening the portal, but heard a voice from behind. "Naruto." Naruto turned and saw Sakura. "Hello," Naruto greeted Sakura. "Are you leaving already?" "Unfortunately." "Maybe you can stay a little longer? You'll meet your friends, you'll see Hinata, she's been waiting for you all this time," Sakura said with tears in her eyes. Naruto came up and hugged Sakura, calming her down. "Sorry Sakura, but I can't. I left gifts for all of you, there are some for you too," Naruto said. "Will you come to us again?" "I don't know, maybe yes, maybe no," Naruto answered vaguely. "I see," Sakura said, walking away from Naruto. Naruto looked at Sakura one last time and went into the portal. Naruto, Issei, and Valley appeared in Naruto's office. "You can go. Issei, here is the scroll, go and train," Naruto said, putting the scroll on the table. Issei silently took the scroll and disappeared along with Valley. Naruto sat down at his chair and started looking for his allies. Rias Gremory was now sitting in her office and looking for her subjects, but suddenly there was a knock on the door and a young man with a scythe on his back entered the office, throwing the man in a white coat to the floor. "Rias-sama, I cleared out that lab, but this man claims that he can help us," Kakashi said. "Yes, madam, I can give you our biological weapon," the man said, kneeling down. "Show it to me," Rias said, standing up from her chair. "Yes," the man said, standing up and running out of the office, Kakashi and Rias following him. Once outside, Rias and Kakashi waited for the man's weapon. "Where?" Rias asked irritably. Something burst out of the man's shoulder blade and wrapped around the man's arm. Rias and Kakashi were surprised by this. Kakashi wanted this weapon for himself, and Rias wanted to hear what it could do. This is my pride, I called it Kagun. This is a weapon that can be summoned at will, it makes the owner many times stronger, endurance, strength, speed, all this increases. The man said proudly. Everything has its downsides, Rias said. Yes. Kagun owners will no longer be humans, demons, angels, or fallen angels. For example, food, all sorts of tasty treats like cupcakes, candies, or cakes, will taste like horse shit. People who have Kagun eat human flesh. If they don't eat, they won't be able to activate Kagun. People who have Kagun are called ghouls. The man answered. I see. What is your name? Rias asked. I'm Michael Storman, Michael replied. Okay, Michael Storman, you work for me now. Rias said, turning towards the castle gate. There were 14 people in a small apartment. They were holding gifts left for them by their friend. Why didn't he even say hello to us? Ten asked. I don't know, but let's open it already. Konohamaru said, opening the box. Wow, Naruto the brother gave me a cool cloak. And I have a beautiful braid. Ten said, opening her gift. I have no idea what this is, Tsunade said disappointedly, but saw the note. Bachan, you of course have no idea what this is, but I promise you'll like it. Tsunade looked at the bottle with the inscription Jack Daniels. We'll see. Tsunade said, opening the bottle. Taking a glass from the box, she poured the contents of the bottle into it and swirled it a little before drinking it in one gulp. Tsunade's eyes opened as wide as they could. This is a masterpiece. The world needs to know about it. Tsunade shouted while pouring whiskey into a glass. Tsunade-sama, you are incorrigible, Sakura said. Don't be such a bore, it's no wonder you don't have a husband yet. Tsunade retorted, taking a sip of whiskey. A cloud appeared above Sakura's head, showing Sakura's depression. I'm just worried about your health, and that's why I don't have time for guys, Sakura said. This is it. Kakashi cried out as he opened his box. From the box there was a golden light. Everyone came up to Kakashi to look, but upon seeing it their faces became ordinary and disappointed. Hokage-sama, where are you going? Okay, Tsunade-sama, but you. I didn't expect this from you. Ino said. What do you know? This is a great work with a magnificent plot. Everything is described so accurately that you don't need to imagine anything. This is Ika, an unpublished volume. Kakashi shouted, lifting the book on himself. Everyone's eyes watered from this. Oh. These are few and weights. I've heard of them, but I never thought I'd have them. Lee shouted. Wow, what a beautiful dress. And it's just purple, just the way I like it. Looks like Naruto has a girlfriend or even a wife, otherwise I can't explain such a choice. Ino said. What is this? Sakura said, not understanding anything. Everyone looked at her gift and laughed out loud. Only Sakura and Lee stood. Only Sakura did not understand anything, and Lee looked at Sakura. Sakura-chan, don't worry, I love you even with those breasts. Don't pay attention to them. Lee said, giving a thumbs up and smiling with his snow-white teeth. Sakura blushed with rage and hit Lee with such force that he broke through the wall. Damn it, Naruto. Sakura screamed, raising her head. Look, what is this? Said Kiba, picking up the scroll. Opening it, a hologram appeared. Naruto and some beautiful girl were standing there. Hello everyone. Before we start I would like to introduce myself. My name is Akino Himejima. I am Naruto's girlfriend. Akino said, clinging to Naruto. Naruto hugged Akino around the waist. Hello everyone, before you start asking questions, I'll tell you, this is a recording, that is, I won't be able to answer your questions. Naruto said. Ino Yamanaka, I hope you liked my gift. When Naruto said that he had a friend who loved the color purple, I realized that our tastes were similar and I decided to give you my favorite dress. Akino said, smiling and putting her hand to her cheek. And I told you he has a girlfriend. Ino said. Everyone rolled their eyes at this statement and continued watching the recording. By the way, Sakura, how do you like my gift? Naruto asked, smiling. Everyone laughed again. Damn Naruto, When you come back I'll give you such a slap in the face. Sakura screamed, raising her fist. Sakura, don't scream, it's just a recording, and I can't hear your threats. Naruto said, knowing that Sakura would scream. Okay, most likely I won't come to you anymore, and these were parting gifts to you. I will always remember you, and I will hope that that war opened everyone's eyes and there will be no more wars. Naruto said. Becoming serious. Naruto. Hinata whispered, hugging her gift from Naruto. It was nice to see Kakashi and Sakura, by everyone. Naruto said, and the hologram disappeared.